Hey guys, and a very good afternoon. And I've come up from the office, took me 3 minutes in the car to the very pretty hamlet of El Rincon, which translates to the corner. To give you an idea of bearing, I'm just down here below the fantastic Castillo Bar and Restaurant. So very easy walk. And we're going to look at a very unusual kind of versatile proposition. It's a Cortijo, similar to what I live in, but it's basically habitable, but it needs a reform. And I'll point things out as we go along, because it's sandwiched in the middle of three other lovely Corticos, and these have all been reformed and brought up to being beautiful houses over the last kind of few years. The first one's the white one there on the left. Now you've got a section of garden, probably around 300 meters here at the back. So everything with the trees on, you can see, and the grass and everything, that's all part of the parcel. But there is no direct access from this into the back of the property. There's a tiny little section that leads onto a roof of what was an old stable. So maybe there's a possibility of putting some steps down in there and coming into the back of the property. So that bit dead centre, that's actually a kind of little patio, and there's a roof on that, and that's connecting to the back of the house, which will make more sense when we're around the front. And then next door, that's another Cortijo that's been beautifully refurbished, and this one as well. Now you've got a number of kind of villa properties on this community, but very popular with the Spanish, and it's a lovely mix really of old houses that have been reformed and new villas. So you can see very good access, but on this land here it'd be very easy to turn that into a kind of parking area with carports or whatever on that, because there's 300 meters of land there, and then you'd have this short walk down to the property, and this will take us to the front door, and you've got another section of garden there. But the reason I'm saying convert that into a parking area is because I don't think it's really suitable to put cars and whatever down here. So this is the next door neighbour on the right, which was a kind of ruin many years ago, and they've done a fantastic house here and then a lovely guest apartment. And then coming on down, another refurbished Cortijo on the far end. Now this is actually a Camino, so it's not really land that belongs to any of the properties. So you can see a small car come down here, but this doesn't belong to you, it doesn't belong to the other houses, it's public road. And then immediately in front of the property, you've got another parcel here. So I'll try and point out where the land is, but there's no fencing around it at the moment. But the beautiful orange fig tree there, and you can see you've got a rambler fronted position, so the views are absolutely gorgeous. And then these are old stables, so they're part of the front garden here, these kind of ruins which can be knocked down to clear space. And then panning around here, this is the property. So you can see the front door there open. There's a lovely corner roof terrace which we'll have a look at from the inside, and then the adjoining property you've just seen from the other side. So carrying on around the garden area, so this is a Camino. A Camino is an access road essentially, so this runs along the frontage, and it doesn't look like much, but it continues down this kind of little access track, and that allows access once or twice a year for farmers or whatever to go down to their fields and everything below, where you can see it's just bristling with lovely orange trees, fig trees, olives, etc., etc. And then you can see this kind of cut down grass area. This is within the property garden boundary, and then this old base of a stone wall that goes up. So similar to the back, you've probably got around 300 and something meters here. Now what you can't see is that's another Cortijo. They're beautiful gardens and swimming pool, and all walled off. Well, it'll be possible to do that in this little section of the garden. There's ample room in here for a swimming pool, patios, whatever you want to do. And it runs up to the bamboo cane there at the back, and then right down from this end. So coming in now from the other side, you can see the house side on. And then down below the Camino there, you can see what's called an acequia. This is an irrigation channel. Well, that little strip of land there, which is green with kind of plants and grass on, is also included. So really down to the orange and the fig tree in front of that. Okay, so let's go and take a look on the interior. So coming into the front door now, it's done in a very traditional way, and you know, it is basically habitable, but there's the whole upper floor is kind of usable, but it needs a full reform. But wow, could you make a beautiful character house here, like the ones on the left and the right. So traditional design, you come into a lovely entrance hallway. On both the left and the right, you've got partition walls, and these are being used as bedrooms. Now this one's a family room because you've got a double bedroom here in front of me, and then you can see a doorway to the right that leads into, again, another partition wall, and that leads into what would be a kind of nursery room, I suppose. You can see that's a new window put in there. Into the nursery room. But lots of people who purchase these, you know, have knocked both these bedrooms out. I've got this in my house, and it's now a great big farmhouse kitchen with dining table running across the whole frontage. I mean, they're very, very versatile. You don't have to use them for bedrooms. And then another bedroom immediately opposite on the right. You'll see, you know, when you're looking at the walls of these, of course, they were built many, many years ago. There was no damp course and things like that possible. So when you're looking at the walls, and they're not perfectly straight, they're not perfectly kind of dry as a bone. But that's very typical for this style of house and can be remedied quite simply. And then carrying on through, so the front door is now immediately behind me, and again, very common design, a central, very shaded, very kind of not bathed in sunlight living room, because this is the cool part of the house where you'd come in and an evening and relax, the salon. I do like this kind of Andalusian tiling all around the base, I have to say. And then this follows through. Sorry, I'm pointing the camera down because there's a big mirror into a very good sized kitchen on this floor. Now, I can't film it behind there, but there's a little understair cupboard, if you like. The door there, just around the corner, leads us up to the upper floor. So, very good sized kitchen diner. This follows around. You can see an arch there into a very good sized utility room, and there's a proper kind of fireplace in here because this would have been used for kind of smoking and meats and things like that. That's a very good sized store come utility room. Quick look from this angle. So you've got a little interior courtyard there, which is like a laundry area, I suppose. And then the doorway going up to the top, and then a doorway out to the back. So coming out to this rear courtyard, you can see there's a kind of temporary roof over here. The curtains to the right lead into the laundry area. Door in front goes into what was an old stable block. Now, I'll show you in there in a second, but then you've got the property's bathroom here. Very good sized bathroom. You can see full bath. Bidet and loo there tucked away. And then out into the old horse house, which is very, very big space, been untouched for many, many years. And this is actually over 2 levels, but it needs a total refurbishment, this. If you kind of look up at this area at the far end of it, that's what you can see from the parking area. There's a little flat roof just in front of that window, and then it comes into there. So I think there could be some way of kind of putting some stairs or making this into a courtyard, so then you could have steps down from the back parking area. And then quickly a little look at the laundry area. Now, as I'm going around here, you know, we live in this style of house, so we're very used to kind of what's involved on getting them. And it is a lot of blood, sweat and tears, but then you end up with something absolutely unique and amazing. And we do work with a number of very, very good local builders who could turn this around. You know, you'd have to kind of design what you want and everything, but they could take your kind of dreams and inspirations and make them happen. Quick whiz around the upstairs. So very unusually, because these ceilings are all heightened, because often in the old design you'd have to bend down, but no problem here. And up to top, you're greeted by this kind of very, very good sized reception room, which could be divided into a bedroom and a bathroom fairly simply if you wanted to, and still keep a nice landing area. Now in this room here, all the old beams and ceiling that needed kind of replacing has all been done. And then you've got this little arched access off here that leads into 2 further very big rooms. And these, it's the original beams. Carrying on round. And door out there to the roof terrace you saw from the outside. And just check out the size of this. What a fantastic master bedroom this would make. So I think it presents a fantastic opportunity to live within a very friendly mixed Spanish expat community. You know, whilst there's a big demand for the uber modern villas and villas of any style, there's an equal demand for old character houses. They just don't come onto the books very often, certainly near Arboleas. Now I've popped out onto the roof terrace, and I'll just give you a quick glimpse, but this is an old Cortijo next door. That's what they've done to their garden. You can see stunning swimming pool area. Look at that backdrop. This is a good sized corner terrace. And you can just see the stunning views off of here. Now you're what, 5-6 minutes maximum drive from Arboleas town centre. You've got the main rambler running down below us there, and you can actually walk all the way into town along there. Takes about 30 minutes. But as I say, you've got the fabulous Castillo bar, not even 3 minutes walk away. And then in the next little hamlet, La Cinta, you've got Dora's, which is another little kind of bar, cafe, shop. So back on in, and we're going to end the filming there, but full details will be in the description down below. And if you've got any questions at all, don't hesitate to ask, but we'd love to show you around this one and think it's a fantastic opportunity to create something very, very special. Thanks for watching.